What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Gig Nation, home of gigsharks.com, the best place to find a gig economy job. Today we're looking at a new policy being rolled out by Instacart. We're going to take a look at this. It looks like they're going to start providing sick and safe pay for Instacart shoppers. Now, they're only rolling this out in select cities. So I'm going to show you guys the email that I got. And here in Seattle, Instacart is rolling this out. I am not sure which other cities they'll be testing it in. What I do know is that Seattle and the city of Seattle has put a ton of pressure on Instacart to do more to protect their workers. They've basically made all gig economy companies pay a hazard pay to their workers. So they're paying you an extra couple dollars for every delivery that you make. They've really forced the hands of a lot of these gig economy companies. Initially, when Instacart saw this, they actually threatened to leave Seattle. They sent me an email. They wanted me to sign a petition. But now it looks like they're starting to kind of change their policies around a little bit. And it looks like they will be providing some sick pay and leave, which is kind of nice. But the question is it enough? So we're going to look at it. There's definitely going to be some cons with this new policy. It's brand new, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. So let's take a look at it. And essentially, the broad overview of the policy is that every day that you work for Instacart is adding to your sick pay and sick leave. So when you work 30 days on Instacart, all of a sudden you have one available sick pay and sick leave day. But basically what they're going to do is they're going to average out how much you actually worked and how much you earned over those 30 days. And then they're going to decide what they pay you on your sick pay or safe pay day based upon that. So if you're working more with Instacart, if you're shopping more often, then you're going to get more payout during that paid time off. If you're not actually working on the Instacart platform, then you're not going to be getting much compensation when you get sick or when you need this safe pay. Another cool feature is that this sick pay and sick leave is actually backdated beginning October 1st, 2019. So you have actually been acquiring this time already if you live in Seattle, and you're able to use it if you get sick or if you feel unsafe for whatever reason. We'll go into that a little bit more later. But you're basically rewarded something for the work that you've put in the past, which is kind of nice that Instacart just hasn't started this from scratch. They've created this policy so that if you have been working on the platform with Instacart for a while, you're going to get rewarded, you're going to be taken care of. Let's look a little bit more into the details though. So they have a link here in the email, and there's a couple other things that I kind of want to go over that are pretty important here. The finer details of this policy. The first thing that comes up is carrying paid sick leave over. So according to Instacart, on January 1st of the next year, your balance is going to reset, but you can carry over up to 9 days and kind of bring those over to the next year if you have not yet used them. Instacart's also going to notify you each month what your balance is for that paid sick and safe time. So you'll have kind of a monthly update on what's available and what you're able to use in the case that an unfortunate scenario happens to you. Okay, so how do you actually use this paid sick time and safe time? Well, according to Instacart, you need to have worked at least once in the last 90 days, and you have to have one of the following conditions met. The first is that you have a illness, injury, or medical condition that allows you to get access to this sick leave and sick pay. The next is that you have reasons related to suspended or discontinued operations. So let's say Instacart suspends their operations in your city, you can actually start collecting some sick and safe pay during this time. And the last reason is related to domestic violence or sexual assault. So if you have one of these concerns on the platform, you can actually use sick and safe pay during this time. And an important thing to notice is that if one of these issues happens to a family member, let's say they get really sick, you can actually use your personal sick and safe pay to take care of that family member. You're able to request your sick pay and safe pay in 24-hour blocks. And you also have to verify once you start taking this. So this is something, it's a little bit of additional paperwork for you. There's a declaration form that you have to fill out and basically declare, do some paperwork on what exactly it is, what's the reason for taking this sick pay. And another thing to note is that if you are a victim of domestic violence, you actually have some additional paperwork here and some documents to fill out One of the required things is, potentially having a police report or some other sort of documentation, which probably isn't the first thing that you want to do. If you're the victim of domestic violence, is worried about all this extra documentation, but this is one of the requirements at the moment. And Instacart's going to be keeping full records of all of this. So they'll have all of this documented. You don't have to personally do it, which is kind of nice. Now, as I mentioned, this is being rolled out in Seattle. It's possible that it hits other cities, but we don't actually know when and if Instacart's actually planning to make this a nationwide thing, or if they're really just responding to the city of Seattle council and providing this in Seattle because of the pressure that has been put on them in Seattle. But it is positive. It is hopefully something that we see rolled out nationwide, because this is one of the things that gig economy apps need to do. They need to take care of their workers more, and they need to do a better job of it. This pandemic has really shed some light on that, and we do see some companies making positive actions. They have a lot further to go, but hopefully we continue moving in that direction. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for all of the latest gig economy news, and if you're looking for another gig economy job, check out gigsharks.com.